Hey there, I'm Nicola from NicolaChatham.com, and this week's episode I want to show you a really cool herb that performs more than one function, and it will help you to deal with pests organically in your organic garden. So the herb that I'm referring to is this one right here. It's kind of poking me in the ear while I'm talking to you, but that's okay because it's called bush basil. And you can grow this really easily, again by striking cuttings. And the way I like to take a cutting is you take a long stem, woody stem like this, and then you need to chop off the flowers at the top and trim off any leaves down the bottom, just so that it leaves a few leaves at the top. And that way you can then pop it into a vase with some water, and it will strike roots sometimes even within a few days. The reason we take the flowers off from the top and the excess leaves is so that the plant stops putting all its energy into keeping those flowers and leaves green and growing, and instead it starts putting its energy into growing roots. It also stops those leaves from rotting when they're in the water if they're down the bottom, and stops it from going sort of manky and smelling. So that's how I like to take a cutting. And the reason that I love bush basil is, for one thing, it's fantastically easy to propagate in this way, and it can fill up any holes in the garden without having to spend any more money on plants. But the reason that I actually grow it is because it's a fantastic pollinator plant. What I mean by that is it attracts bees like they're going out of fashion. Bees go nuts for bush basil, and they buzz all around the flowers, and then because they're in the garden they go and they pollinate the other plants that I have in here. Sometimes I'm astounded when I've been doing talks and things around the Sunshine Coast. I've had people tell me that they just don't see bees anymore. One old gentleman was out at Nambour and he told me, I haven't seen bees in my garden for about 2 years, and they used to be everywhere. So we really need to be providing habitat and food, and also just basically putting out their favourite plants to help attract them into our garden. And the favourite plant that I've found for bees is this bush basil. And the good thing is, it actually also looks very ornamental and beautiful. Mum thought that it was actually lavender when she saw it growing along my swales. And of course, it's a multi-purpose plant. You can also eat the leaves. They're quite strong. It's a really strong flavoured basil, and you just need a few in a salad or in a dish, and you might want to chop them up finely to distribute that strong flavour. So the way that bush basil will help you to keep your garden poison-free and chemical-free is it works as like a way to confuse the pests, because it's got quite a strong aroma. The pests might smell it and they'll be like, oh, I don't really like that, and they'll head the other direction. It's also fantastic because it attracts beneficial insects. So beneficial insects include things like hoverflies and obviously bees, and little things that come into the garden, and they'll actually eat. Some of them will eat things like the caterpillars and things that you don't want in the garden. So by planting bush basil, you'll be attracting the good bugs, and they'll help to keep in balance the population of bad bugs, because we're looking to make an equilibrium in our ecology system. So there you have it, bush basil. It's a fantastic pollinator plant and really easy to grow. So I'd love to hear from you. What do you grow at your place to help attract beneficial insects or bees into your garden? And what have you had a go at trying to grow bush basil, and if so, what have your results been? Love to hear about it in the comments below. And if you're looking for more free organic gardening tips and advice, come on over to NicolaChatham.com, sign up for my free newsletter Sprout, and get my free quick and easy organic veggie patch kit at the top of the website. So I'd love to see you over there, and make sure you leave a comment below about beneficial insects at your place.